It is now official. Ilia Topuria will not be fighting until spring of 2026. The earliest we can expect to see Ilia back is around March, the reason being due to personal reasons. Rumors were swirling that Ilia was going to vacate his belt, but that is not true. Instead, the UFC is looking to book an interim title fight for the first ever UFC Paramount card in January, and Paddy Pimblett will be one of the challengers. Paddy's opponent hasn't been confirmed yet. It could either be Arman Tsarukyan or Justin Gaethje, but it will be announced in the coming days. This interim title fight will be the co-main event behind the women's title fight of Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. Now, another big fight in the works is the main event for the second UFC Paramount card, which is expected to take place in Sydney, Australia. And the plan is for Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez 2 to headline that card. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez versus Sean Strickland is also expected to be on this Australia card. Shavkat Rakhmonov is back and preparing a return to the octagon around February or March of next year. Islam Makhachev recently said that Shavkat's been out for too long to receive the next title shot. Shavkat wants to fight a contender to regain his #1 contender status and already has a list of names.
If it was up to you, Shavkat, your next fight will be who?
Yeah, of course I would prefer to fight for the title next, but I think this timeline not gonna work for Islam, February, March. Probably he will defend his belt in April, May, that time. Of course, if I can fight Islam next, I'm ready, I can do it. But again, if I have to fight before title shot again, I have no problem. I can prove again that I'm the #1 contender, I'm the rightful contender. Of course, the most intriguing fight for me is Kamaru Usman, but I don't believe he's gonna accept the fight against me. He's been turning down fights against me in the past. Buckley been talking a lot, been calling me out for a while, so it will be good to shut him up. But also Prates, he's on a good streak, you know, he's had a spectacular KO last time. And Morales too, so for me, really doesn't matter. There's a lot of good options, and just give me the date and open in advance, and just make sure it's a #1 contender fight.
Kamaru Usman says the only fight to make next that makes sense is him against Islam Makhachev for the welterweight title. Usman says he has no interest in fighting these young guys in the division.
Now, is that a fight that you're interested in next?
Absolutely. I know there's been a lot of people talking, and obviously that's what we love. We love people to talk about it, but it's what else makes sense? Because I'm a realist, and Joe, you could even attest to it. I'm a realist. Yes, of course we love to compete. We do this thing, but I want to have a purpose in what I'm doing. And if it's not for the title, then what else? I don't want to just be here fighting all these young guys for no reason. Yeah, I'll fight these guys if it means something. I'll fight these guys if I'm defending the title against them where I don't have a choice. Absolutely. But right now, I feel like I'm in a position, and yes, there's still a lot of movement going on in that welterweight division, but I think, yes, it makes sense for Islam, especially since I gave up the title. I mean, you see how that title's just been switching hands. It's like it's like a new hot chick a new hot chick in there every 6 months, with the title. And I want to kind of bring that stability back.
Colby Covington wants to be on the White House card badly, but before he gets on that card, he wants a tune-up fight first. Colby is targeting a January-February return and lists Gilbert Burns and Wonderboy Thompson as possible opponents.
I'd like to fight before then. I'd like to get a fight in January, February. We've been talking, so hopefully they can put an opponent together that makes sense for the company. And I'd like to get a little warm-up fight before then, and then fight at the White House, second fight of the year. There's some interesting guys out there. Some guys like Gilbert Burns make sense. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Diaz is always fun. Not Nick, because he's on his episode, and I want to see him get healthy. But maybe Nate comes back. You never know. But just want big fights and guys that are legends of the game.
Colby says he's spoken to Trump and has been assured that he will get a spot on the White House card.
What's it going to take to get you fighting in the White House?
I know. I was talking to Trump the other day at Mar-a-Lago, so I said, hey, can you put in a word to Dana? So I know, Uncle, Dana is going to be having an earful, hopefully, from Trump, and hopefully they'll let me on. I want to represent America on the biggest stage. It's going to be the biggest event in the history of any sporting event, so, I'm hoping that Hunter Campbell and Dana White bless me and let me fight on that card.
Dan Hooker is looking to bounce back quickly after his loss to Arman Tsarukyan and wants to return in January next year for the second UFC Paramount card in Sydney, Australia. Hooker wants to fight Renato Moicano next because he believes they both suck, so why not?
Yeah, it's all good. Went to the hospital and got a call. Hunter Campbell gave us a call, and he picked it up with a sad face. He's like, "Oh, you're right, Dan." And I just go, Moicano sucks. Moicano sucks. Let me give Moicano a hiding.
So you're
a fighter. This is an old man fight. Now I know what you have to do. You got to fight. I'll fight. I'm not going to hold up the division. I'm prepared to fight down in the rankings. Let's go.
So Moicano's the one you want?
Yeah, Moicano, and then Ivan. I would love to fight close to home. I love to fight on the Sydney card there in February. So Moicano in Sydney.
Renato Moicano has accepted Dan Hooker's call-out. However, Moicano doubts the UFC would consider booking two old guys to fight against each other.
I just laughed, that was a funny call out, I think, and that is something that I would do it if I was in his place, I would say the same thing about Dan Hooker. I think he doesn't deserve to be on the top 5, on the top 6, and he's right. I fucking suck, he sucks, but the only thing that he's missing out that he's way worse than me. No ground game, doesn't have knockout power, doesn't have wrestling, and unfortunately for both of us, UFC not gonna do this matchup, I think the fans would love to watch me and the Hooker fight, but I don't think UFC is making that fight, because let's be honest, we both old, and they probably want to feed like a young contenders prospect, to get in the rankings. Right now, Dan Hooker is the easiest way to get on the top of the rankings,
Sean Brady is possibly considering a move down to lightweight after Michael Morales towered over him and knocked him out earlier this month.
It says, is Sean Brady too small, or are some of these guys just very big?
So I've done testing at the PI. I am on the I'm at the max for muscle mass at 170. But my dimensions, I'm a smaller one. If you look at everybody in the top right now, they're all over 6 foot. So that's something I might visit at some point, is maybe trying to go down to 155. It would be very, very hard, but it's not a skill. That's why it's not a skill thing. It's not a strength thing, because I can out strength heavyweights, but it's a dimensions thing. I would stack up way better against guys who are closer to my height, closer to my size. And Morales is just a freak. He cuts from, I heard they weighed this motherfucker in the back, and he was 210 pounds.
Sean Brady plans to return early next year around February, and if he stays at welterweight, he would want to fight Bilal Muhammad next.
End of February, early March. I'm getting right back to it. After this past weekend, Bilal losing, that's the fight that I'm looking at. It's all right, we're both losers. Let's go run this one back.
Blunt ass way to put it.
let's go run this one back, and yeah.